I set my company up to be fully remote because when I had a job, I hated the idea of having to wake up every morning, wear the suit, get on the bus or the train, be herded into work like sheep, walk through the city to the office like everyone else. And I hated the idea of being chained to a desk and to ask for vacation and all that kind of stuff. I hated it. And that's why I started my business. But the thing is, I started my business to be remote so that I could have the freedom. And I want to be able to provide that freedom to the employees that I have at Video CEOs. And so today in this video, I want to walk you through how I'm able to manage a team of 10 people fully remote and make sure all the work gets done and the company continues to grow, because it's quite difficult to do, which is the reason why a lot of these bigger companies don't do it. Even though a lot of people want this to happen, or they want like a 4-day work week, which I think is ridiculous. But a lot of people wonder why these bigger companies or their boss doesn't just have like a remote setup or a remote system. The reason for that is because it's difficult to manage everyone. You have to trust that they're doing the work. If you're not doing that, you have to have like some kind of timing system. It's very difficult to manage. I'm not going to say that that is easy, or that it has been easy, or that it's going to continue to be easy in any way. But I'm going to explain to you guys in this video how I've set this up so that it matches my ideal lifestyle and the way that I want this company to be, because I believe one of the biggest perks of working in my company at Video CEOs, and one of the biggest reasons why we're able to attract such talented video editors, is because we have this remote working arrangement, which is built on trust. So let me go through that with you, and I'll explain some of the difficulties, some of the hurdles, and some of the ways that I make this easier for myself and for my team. So one of the first things that we use in order to communicate with each other is Slack. You can use other messaging systems. Some people use Discord and some of the other ones. I like Slack because it's just very easy. You have your own, company ecosystem attached into it, and you can have different teams, different team chats. You can have a main general channel, etc. The way that I've set this up for my company is that when someone joins Slack, let's say I hire someone, even if they're on trial, I'll bring them into the Slack community, into the ecosystem, so that they can get exposed to other people in the ecosystem. And then they'll be invited to one of the team chats. If they're a video editor, they'll join the video team. If they're in the sales or social media team, they'll join, the equivalent team. And this way I get access to all of the teams. Different people have access to different teams depending on where they're at and what position they're in. But also every single person in the Slack community or the Slack ecosystem can DM each other. So it has that cultural feel, which I think is, a really important part of growing your business. If you don't have that cultural fit and that cultural feel, people won't believe it's a real business. They'll kind of feel like, they're working for this strange, faceless company, and you don't want it to be like that. You want it to be represented and be seen as a real company. So you need to have this ecosystem. The next thing that I've implemented as well is meetings. So at first I only had one meeting a week. I felt like it wasn't enough to create or to encourage the company culture, because sometimes people, when they're working from home, they can be quite lazy, right? They need to have a mentor or a coach. They need to have some kind of routine or some rigid, strict behavior that encourages them to stay on path. So what we've done is we've implemented meetings every day at the same time every day, so it's nice and easy. This also ensures, because of the time that I've selected for the meeting, that people aren't doing other jobs in the daytime. It means that they're available in the middle of the day to jump on that meeting, and we can go over what is the agenda of the day or the next day. Some meetings we have, usually on a Monday or a Tuesday, they're a little bit longer because we set the agenda for the week. Other meetings, if it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they can be a bit shorter because we've already got the agenda. Everyone's doing their thing. They all know what to do. Those meetings are really just to keep the company culture, make sure everyone can communicate, make sure everyone realizes that we're a real company, and most importantly, to answer any questions or deal with any issues that the people within the company has. And surprisingly, you'll probably get a lot of questions. A lot of people need help over time, because if they're working from home, sometimes they're going to come up with challenges or have to overcome something that only you or someone else in the team can help them out with. And many people, when they're working remotely, they don't feel comfortable coming to the boss or asking questions in the team chats. And so they just keep it to themselves, and then the problem doesn't get fixed and it grows worse and becomes this beast that just affects your whole company. So having a daily meeting is what we've been doing recently over the last few months. I have found that it works tremendously well. And the proof of that is that we created a movie. Now, usually when someone hires video editors, the video editors do their own individual thing. Very rarely do they collaborate together, especially if they're remote. If they're in an office together, maybe it's a different story, but most of the time people have remote video editors. We created a Pixar level movie. I've made a video about this. You can go check it out on my channel. But this was the very first time that I myself have put a team together to collaborate on different parts of the movie. And so what I found was having a daily meeting allowed us to overcome any challenges, to deal with problems, to discuss new tools, and just to give, like morale and a bit of structure and routine to the company to make sure people are all getting their work done as well. Because as a team, you're relying on different team members to get their work done. And if they struggle and they don't come to you, it can be tough. So if you jump on a meeting, you can actually ask them directly if there's any issues, and you can overcome that issue on the meeting. Like I said, sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. You're looking at about a 30-minute meeting. So we've got Slack to communicate with everyone, create that company culture, as well as the daily meetings. Now, another thing that I've implemented at my company is work hours. Originally, I had it so that as long as they deliver the work, that I would be happy, because that's really what I want. As long as they're actually doing the work and I'm getting what I need out of them and I'm paying for the time and I'm getting the result, I'm pretty happy. But as my company has grown, I've realized that some people take advantage of it. So another thing I've implemented is to make sure that people are actually available throughout the day. If you go for lunch or something like that when you work at my company, I don't really mind. If maybe you have an errand or something like that. There's life that we all have to deal with. When I worked for a boss, sometimes life got in the way and I had to do something. All you have to do is make sure that you make up for the time or the lost time. But in addition to that, you have Slack on your phone so that you can communicate with everyone. Let's say you're not at your desk, you're not working. I can still ping you with a question and you can answer that question, and you can get back to me later on when you're doing the work. Plus, in addition, we've also got summaries. So at the end of each day, I get all my team members just put through a summary of what they did that day so that I can figure out, hey, is this moving in the right direction? Do we have the efficiency, the productivity? Is it right? Or can we improve things here and there? Now, a lot of businesses, when they work remote, they implement something called like time tracking, and you can use time tracking software. I've tried this, but I've come to the conclusion that this isn't as good as what it was marketed to do, or as good as it should be, because it kind of feels like you're micromanaging people. A lot of people will clock in their times, or they'll do it wrong. It will take them time to learn as well, the software, and it's just like an added thing that I have to worry about. Are people working the right hours and things like that? So I tried it. I didn't like it so much. The way that we work is based on trust. We've got that communication factor, and as long as you're getting the work done for the full-time hours, pretty happy. Now, I will say that there has been occasions where people have taken advantage of this setup, because it is quite an easygoing approach. And I feel the way that I manage, my management style is quite easygoing. Like I said, as long as the work's getting done and we're delivering for our clients and the company is growing in the right direction, I'm pretty happy. But because of that laid back lifestyle, some people have taken advantage of it. So another thing that we've implemented is contracts. Everyone who works for me is a contractor. So they have a contract which says that they must dedicate their time to the company, and they shouldn't be doing work outside of the company during work hours. I'm very aware that some people like to have different jobs, or they like to do things outside of work, side hustles and things like that. My only need, or my only want when I take on a new person to work at Video CEOs, is that they dedicate time to the company during those work hours. If you want to get extra money outside of those work hours, just make sure you deliver the work, make sure it's not affecting your work, and then we're all happy. You get to make an extra bit of cash, totally understand it, and I make sure that the work is getting done and that the company is going in the right direction. Some people didn't like this idea because I sent them the contracts, and so I gave them an option. You can either work full-time for us as a contractor, or you can work part-time. You can do part-time hours, which allows them to have other clients and things like that. Most people, believe it or not, would actually prefer to have a full-time job, consistent money coming in each week, and then just do things like on the weekend or whatever, which is perfectly fine. But some people in my company did decide to go part-time, and that's also fine as well, because we're able to get the videos, we're able to get the work that they're getting paid for, and they get to do, whatever suits and aligns with them. So this is how I've set up my company in a way so that it operates remotely. We have the Slack community, or the Slack ecosystem. We have the meetings, we have the contracts and the rules and the SOPs that are all based within that system. So everyone is under the right understanding of what's required of them to work at the company. The final thing that I'd say is SOPs. I always found that SOPs look so boring. They're not exciting at all. And I guess they're kind of designed to be boring because it's just steps on what to do. But we've kind of jazzed this up a little bit by adding a community for video editors to come and get trained and to teach marketing psychology and things like that with videos. And so most of the people that we hire is from that community, which means that we can create training programs and courses in that community to train them up so that they have the right foundations, so that when they apply to work with us, they're already there, they're already at a certain level, and then I can just get them started straight away. So people are constantly being trained, which is cool. I found that this was one of the best ways to implement our SOPs in a valuable way that not only helps my company, but also helps other people as well. Because even if they don't come and work for me, they can take those SOPs, what they've learned, and they can add value somewhere else, which is perfectly fine, because there's only so much value that we can add, in the world and to other people. So this is also something that I've implemented. Taking company SOPs to a certain extent, not all of them, because some of them are, intellectual property, but most of them we can place into this school community. And there's two things that we can do here. We can give them away for free, or we can charge people for the knowledge and the information and to access that knowledge and information. So that's another area as well. So this way, everyone coming in is under the right understandings of what is required from them. They all know how to do their job before they even join a company, which means that we can hit the ground running with anyone that we hire. And it also means that we're adding value into the market, positioning ourselves as an authority. And all of this is totally remote, which is the reason why I quit my job in the first place. I wanted to be remote, I wanted to travel around the world, and I want my team members to enjoy life and be free, because life is very short. Your work should give you money so that you can enjoy your life. And so I try to set that up for my company and for the staff that I have, or the team that I have within my company. And so far it's working really well. Hopefully, after watching this video, you'll be able to do the same. So if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.